Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello and welcome to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and here we are on this Tuesday, the 25th of February. 25th of February.
I know.
Can you believe that? How did that happen? It's those short months that always get us, right? They surprise us.
I was just saying to you earlier,
Yeah,
but it sneaks up really quickly.
Yes. Before you know it, it'll be March. I mean, if you turn the calendar, there it is. It's next week, in fact. But thank you so much for listening today. Thanks for watching as well. That was the voice of Chris Williams. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist. Dr. Jill Hubbard will be joining us in a little bit as well. But Chris, what's on your mind as we start today's program?
Well, what's on my mind today is something that I've been working on quite a bit in my work with people, especially people recovering from life's most painful experiences or trauma. And oftentimes going along with that, people struggling with addictive patterns and behaviors. And one of the things that I have found really, really effective as people build momentum is creativity. And my best definition of creativity is just this. It's the ability to make something of ourselves and the world around us. And what's great about that is that God has embedded that inside of us. As image bearers, as reflectors of God's image, we are creative beings as He is a creative being. In fact, it was the first command. If I could summarize God's first command to humankind, it was, hey, I've made all this stuff. Now you go make something from it. And I believe that one of the things that the great enemy wants to stop us from doing is being creative. One of the most effective ways to do that is to get us caught up in fear and get us in our pain. And one of those things is it shuts down the prefrontal cortex area of our brain, which is our best creative and problem-solving and solution part of our brain.
Okay.
One of the horrific consequences of addiction, sometimes at the very beginning, especially of substance abuse, it may help unlock some creativity, but usually what it ends up doing is stealing it all on the back end.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, as I say, it's a really bad exchange rate. But if you are struggling with an addiction, if you're struggling with trauma, first and foremost, I want you to get into your healing process. It's critically important. But if you find yourself lacking motivation, if you find yourself lacking hopefulness and joy and opportunity and possibility, all of those things are accessible to all of us. They just exist in a different part of the brain that is required of two things. One, we do get into some healing, we get into some growth, but the other thing is it's a muscle that needs to be practiced. One of the things, again, that takes away from our creativity is our phone addictions and screen addictions and all of the endless, things I fall into of doom scrolling on all the social media. And so really that God has embedded in us unbelievable solutions to our life in partnership with Him. But what it's going to require is a couple of things. One, we do need to spend some time detoxing from the things that take away our creativity and spend some time connecting to God and just space to think and to process. And then trying new things, even if things that don't seem to be leading anywhere productive. Because I know this, I've experienced it in my own life. The more we act in creativity, the more creative we get. And the more positive solutions. And I believe us as Christians have a high mandate to create more life-giving solutions for people who are out there that are struggling.
I would say doing anything, starting anything, is definitely more creative than just doom scrolling on your phone.
That's exactly right.
Do something. That's the point. Okay, Chris Williams, awesome. We're going to be here for 2 hours today. You ready to take some calls?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Right. Jeanette, you're up first at 1-800-229-3000. We'll get to you in just a minute.
here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Embark on your journey of personal growth and self-discovery in April with a New Life course. Lose It for Life, Grief Recovery, or Divorce Recovery. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are so glad you've chosen to listen or to watch New Life Live today. My name is Brian Perez. We've got Chris Williams and Dr. Jill Hubbard here to answer your questions. How are you doing, Jill?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Okay. I actually was a little frustrated this morning, but I'm
sorry to
doing
hear
better once I'm here. So, for the sake of honesty, as you said.
I do. I love it.
Yes. These are real people here.
Some mornings are very frustrating.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, they are. So if you want to talk
here.
about your frustrating morning.
Yeah.
I promise you I'll let mine go.
Yes.
It's okay.
At least for 2 hours, right? Let's go to the phones now. Here is Jeanette in Orlando, Florida, listening on WTLN. Thank you, Jeanette, for calling 1-800-229-3000.
Well, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I listen to you guys every day. I
thank
just so
you.
appreciate. Yes. So, real quick, I was married 31 years. I've been divorced for 12, and because of the pain that caused me, I do divorce care in our church here, so I'm a facilitator. Recently, in the past 2 years, because of the laws that have changed in Florida regarding alimony, I'm back in the courtroom. And it has been such a struggle, but recently the final let go of the alimony thing happened, and I just have so much anxiety, and I replay everything because I let everything go. I just was so tired of fighting. And it's all the things that like you have to fight for and everything, and then you realize, I can't do this anymore. And so just the regrets, sleepless nights, didn't do the right thing, didn't go to my people. I went to my brother that I really trusted, but he's not been divorced. And I just said, just gave up everything. You just get so weary, physically exhausted. So how do you release that anxiety of shoulda, coulda, and forgive yourself, maybe? Yeah.
Jill, go ahead. We haven't heard
Jeanette,
go for it. Yeah.
Jeanette, I'm so sorry, and it is horrible. I have been there. It's a long, arduous process, and nobody feels like they win. So both sides, not that you maybe have compassion for the other side, or maybe you do, but they also feel cheated as well. And so both sides are disappointed, and because divorce is brokenness. And so I think there is a time to fight, and you do need to fight, but then there's a time to say, okay, how much time do I want to keep giving this? How much energy? And you maybe could have gotten a few more dollars or done it differently, but is it worth it at a certain point? And at a certain point, you're 12 years out, and like it is going to go away, and it is scary. And the court system is very imperfect, and it kind of handicaps you because, if you go out on your own and you make too much, you lose it sooner. And so it kind of caps you, and then you're left going, okay, now I'm facing that abyss of what am I going to do? And so
Right.
think of it, it's brokenness, but you need to start from, okay, here and today. And,
Right.
and kind of set some of that bitterness and regret. And you do need to forgive yourself. You do. And that either way, even if you had done it all exactly the way you wished you had done it, it would still be very imperfect.
Yeah, that's really good, Jill. Yeah, Janet, I'm thinking about a really cool term that I came across from a Hebrew scholar on the word Israel. So the word Israel oftentimes means to wrestle with God, or to struggle with God. But one of the terms I came across from a Hebrew scholar was one who surrenders to win. And I thought that was such and for those of us who struggle with addiction, like nothing could be more true than when we surrender our truth and surrender our addiction, and then God starts moving in our lives. And I was thinking about, like, a quick question here, Jeanette, is what is the source of your fear? Like, what are you most afraid of?
I don't know. I guess it's I dropped the ball. Regrets. I don't know. Financially, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great to know.
Yeah, that
okay.
is good.
That's super important for me to know. I'm glad I asked that question.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
Because I thought
that's
I thought it
usually-
was financial.
Yeah. So what are the
No.
regrets about?
The disappointment in myself.
Over the divorce or how you handled it. What's the source of the disappointment?
Didn't stay in the fight till the bitter end.
You mean
Let it
fighting
go.
for the marriage?
No. Fighting for the finances that he left a few payments undone. And so why didn't I go after those?
Okay. So
But you're okay financially.
But I got to go point back to you, Jill, on this one, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no winners in this.
No.
And there's one of the most disappointing things about divorce and the legal system. Nobody will think it's fair. Nobody
And
comes out.
family law is just the worst.
Yes. Yeah.
It is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jeanette, leaving yourself on the hook because you didn't fight for something is putting yourself in the place of the judgment seat or the judge's seat. And I would say take yourself off of that seat. That's goes back to surrender to win here.
And what would have been different, Jeanette, had you fought for those things? I mean, you still might have lost on those, but what would have been different?
I guess I would have felt that I did more. I stood up for myself.
Okay.
I didn't give in.
You didn't cave. Okay.
And let me go back to the divorce. Why did the marriage not work out?
Multiple affairs on his part.
Okay, so
okay.
So let me start here. Jeanette, you already won big time. Do you know what the win is? You're not married.
Yeah.
You're not married to him, and you're not in that situation anymore.
Or when you see the next person who is,
Yeah.
and then they get him, and they get all that they didn't bargain for, and that is so sweet.
He's their problem now.
I have to admit, I'm sorry to that.
Oh, Jill, that's awesome.
It takes a long time to finally see that.
Yeah.
But
I told you these people are real. I mean, man.
But I was working. I have a client who's gone through he's just gone through a horrific divorce and been treated so unjustly, so horribly. It's unimaginable. But one of the things he comes back to all the time is he says, I keep reminding myself that I've won because I'm no longer in that situation. I don't have to live under the tyranny and the abuse and the heartache of that situation. And I think that sometimes we forget and all of us do this. The Israelites did it. We all do it. We forget that God's deliverance is way better than what we connect it to.
Right. But here's the thing, too. When someone has cheated, right, they've stolen from us, right?
That's good. Yeah, that's right, Jill.
And so there is that feeling. So it gets played out in the financial arena. And I think particularly with you, since you're saying you're doing okay financially, it's like, I don't want to let him steal any more from me than
that's
he
good.
already has.
Right.
And so the fighting for the financial piece is like standing up against those affairs and against all that he took from you,
Yeah.
right? But
And
here,
we still split our retirement.
and what?
Still split at retirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's good that you got that.
I'll be paying him more in the future because mine grows. I was in the military.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have to pay him.
So it will be a little bit more, but you're right. I am free of, having to deal with.
Well, and think about, okay, that idea of he's stolen from you, and that's what you have to grieve. That he, in a sense, perpetrated against you by going outside of the marriage. And that feels bad, right? That's for us women, our self-esteem, it feels really bad. And so maybe looking at what's underneath this, I wished I had fought for these financial things more.
Right.
And that's maybe the work and the grieving that needs to be done. Either, you're leading divorce care either there or in therapy.
Yes. Well, I have gone back to therapy myself. And
Good.
I have shared with the group the pain of having to go back because story really does help other people. So anyway, so I will continue to tell my story and seek counsel. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, but it is a journey, and I don't think we ever arrive.
No.
Not this side.
No.
Yeah.
And we get victory, and then something happens to remind us, and it does bring up old pain.
We're going to send you a resource from the newlife.com store. What would you guys suggest? I also want to tell you about a couple of New Life courses that are coming up that might help you. There's a grief recovery course and also a divorce recovery course. I know it's been 12 years since your divorce, but it might still help.
Well, you're doing the divorce share and leading that, so maybe the grief.
The grief one. Okay. Yeah, you can find out about it at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But stay on the phone, and we'll send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. Is that what I heard you guys
I think that'd be great.
Okay, very good. All right, Jeanette, thanks for calling us today at 1-800-229-3000. Now we're going to speak with Sarah and Brian. Do we have both of you on the phone?
Yeah. Hello.
We're here.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
2 for the price of 1. That's awesome. Thanks for calling in, guys. What's going on? You're in Fort Worth, Texas, listening on KWRD. Thank you for calling in today.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to say real quick. Big fans. So we decided we were going to go for alter egos, but no, we have freedom and truth with Christ. So we wanted to say our real names. My name is Nick.
I'm Shannon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're from Weatherford.
We wouldn't know the difference, but...
So what's going on, guys?
So me and her have, it was kind of crazy. We met about 6 months ago, and me and her both been married 12 years, and we were both really unhappy, and we actually had some pretty big problems happen to us. So now we're going through divorces separately, and we've actually both fell in love with each other. It's quite amazing.
So we have a couple questions, and we want to know if God will be blessing our relationship and possible marriage in the future.
So you're going through the divorce right now. You're not officially divorced, or are you?
Not officially, but in God's eyes, I believe I am, but officially Nick is going through it. I am not yet.
Okay. And how long have you guys been dating, you said? Or how long have you known each other?
Close to 6 months.
6 months, okay.
So you guys met while married, is that what I'm hearing? Or were you both separated in the divorce process prior to meeting?
Well, we were close. We had bumped into each other a couple of times.
We were married.
Yeah, we didn't really look at each other in the eyes that we do now, like at that time. So.
We weren't having an affair.
Yeah, it wasn't something that we were doing out of context. You know what I mean?
So I was trying to help him.
So you guys were not having an affair, or you were? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I'm confused.
You were not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No,
So you're not the reason for the divorce.
Like you guys were divorcing before you started spending time together.
Yeah, we were planning to, but I was trying to help his marriage.
Yes. So my marriage had already started to fall apart, where she actually left me, my ex-wife, and she left me, and I was trying to find counsel, and I was trying to get a little bit of help and understand why I did it. what I had done for her to leave me. And she had an affair last year, and it was pretty rough. And we were trying to make things better, and it didn't work. She took the kids and left me, and so to Shannon, and I told her what was going on, and she offered some counseling
For both of them.
for grief and all of that stuff, and for me and for her, and so that's where we were at. And
so can I say my part and my
All right,
marriage?
hang on, Shannon. We have to take a break now here on New Life Live. We'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes. Any questions that Dr. Jill or Chris you might have so that they can think about for the next 2 minutes while we're on break?
Well, I think I have a lot of thoughts in my head.
We need to hear Shannon's side.
Yeah, we'll hear Shannon's side, and then we'll jump in.
And then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So we'll be back here on New Life Live. We're going to be here for 2 hours today. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for calling in. 1-800-229-3000 is the number, and we'll be right back.
I've been struggling with a porn addiction for the last 20 years.
Are you struggling with porn? New Life's Every Man's Battle Intensive can help.
Every Man's Battle explains to you why you are like you are, and they give you the tools and they show you how to work your way through the problems and where to get help and how to get help and who to get help through.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
This was the first time in my life that I ever felt comfortable in sharing the real me with other men.
Get help on February 28th in Orange County, California. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50 on your registration.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me.
You don't have to struggle any longer. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Let's go back to Fort Worth, Texas. Nick and Shannon called in today. They're looking for help for their situation, and we've got Dr. Jill Hubbard and Chris Williams here to assist. And I believe, Shannon, it's your turn to tell us your side of the story.
Okay, well, I realized I was a little kind of like just defensive in my situation, and I don't mean to be. It's God's will. Fine. So, in my marriage, I had felt like I was being neglected from my my husband, and he had been physically abusive for a couple of years, and also he would walk into my worship room, or our worship room. I was trying to get him, because we're married to Christ, and he was saying I was spending too much time with God. Immediately, I felt the Holy Spirit leave from us. Like, I fell out of love. So would that be considered spiritual death or marriage in God's eyes?
So again, he said you think of God too much, or you worship God too much, and at that point you just kind of, the wall went up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Holy Spirit just felt like it was disconnected from us.
Okay, and that's a feeling that you had. And certainly someone says that about, your Lord, and you're going to have a reaction. But I, there's probably a whole context around that. Shannon, are you still legally married?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not have the money right now.
Okay. Are you living with your husband?
No, absolutely not.
You guys are separated. Okay.
Yep,
and what did you try to do? I mean, someone says that, and yes, that would be alarming in terms of where he's at spiritually. But at the same time, he certainly was trying to get your attention.
Yes.
And, at the state of your relationship. And, a lot of times pastors struggle with this, where they spend so much time at church, they neglect their wives at home. And so it can feel so out of balance. Go ahead.
They spend time with me. It's our worship room. They spend time with me, and, you can...
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, not in here. Why don't we go in this room so I can watch TV too? Or, he'd make up an excuse. Or
Okay, so you guys were having problems. So what did you do to get help in your marriage?
I tried to go do Christian counseling and set up an appointment. I showed up. He didn't.
Okay.
I need you, like, to see me, and he would neglect me. And so I warned him, like, so this had been going on for about a year.
And you've been married how long?
12 years. We both have.
Oh, 12 years. That's right.
Yeah.
You guys did say that. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Well, Shannon, here's the issue I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
The issue I'm having with your relationship with Nick and Nick's relationship with you, one of them is a timing issue. And it's not just about, hey, are we officially divorced? Are we not officially divorced? Mm-hmm. It is about the ending of a relationship and the need, and not the luxury, the need to both heal and grow. Mm-hmm. Because whatever was in the previous marriage is coming straight into the next relationship if it's not examined. And it's not worked through. So my first advice to you guys is slow it way down and get into your own individual work and examine it. Because I'll tell you, I know exactly the relationships God blesses. Do you know what that is?
So
the work that people do to get relationally healthy. So God he isn't wielding a magic wand to say, well, just because these two individuals got together, I'm going to bless it as a great marriage. No, he's given us things to do, things to look at, things to be a part of, and most importantly, really, really hard work to grow and do some examination. And that's the marriages that, quote unquote, become blessed.
Right. And see, the two of you have had marriages that have been very hurtful. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, to find each other and to find comfort there makes all the sense in the world. And it's like, oh my gosh, fresh air, something to quench my thirst. And so there's this connecting that happens when you go through traumatic things with another person. There's a bonding there. And so because you guys are still so new in the aftermath of your marriages, like Chris was saying, you haven't had time to sit back by yourselves and reflect and look at what happened and what went wrong. Because as good as it feels right now with the two of you and the love feelings you're having, love feelings come and go.
Absolutely. Yep.
And we recreate what is unfinished and unresolved in our next relationship. Mm-hmm. And I know it seems like no way that wouldn't happen with us. Mm. But I guarantee you it will, and you don't want that. So the best preservation... Oh, sorry?
I wanted to say one thing in the beginning, though, that was kind of really a sign.
Okay.
From God.
So, we were both broken down really badly. We were separate. We knew each other. We'd seen each other, but
not met.
But not actually officially met. So
okay, stand by. We've got to take a break. The clock tells us we have to do it. The music tells us we have to do it. So stay on the phone. We'll come back to you here on New Life Live with Chris Williams and Dr. Jill Hubbard. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we're going to be here for 2 hours today. Plenty of time for you to call in and ask your questions. 1-800-229-3000.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We've got lots of great calls coming in today on New Life Live. Thanks so much for calling 1-800-229-3000. I'm Brian Perez here with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Chris Williams, and we'll get to as many calls as we can. But right now we're talking to two people at the same time, so it's taking a little bit longer than usual. But let's go back to Nick and Shannon, and then we'll get to the other calls. But where were we with them?
We were at a sign.
Shannon was telling us a sign.
Yeah, so tell us about the sign.
Okay, so it was the night or 2 nights before we actually met and sat down and talked. We shared that we both had sat and prayed fervently, kind of like Elijah did in the woods. In the woods, we prayed fervently and cry out to the Lord for a better life, because we were both unhappy with our spouses, and we want to do right in God's eyes and get a blessing.
At least find the answer. I pray for guidance and for the next steps to be clear.
To have a better life with the love of my life, and so did he. And then we met the next day.
Okay.
It seemed like the time actually.
Okay, so
we both prayed.
So let me take the risk in going here. Okay, the problem is it was unhappy in your marriages, correct?
Well, it was betrayal and.
But no, like the general idea is like, hey, I'm miserable in my marriage. Okay.
Well, not miserable. It was more like we were roommates. But it was just kind of like.
Which could be miserable.
Well, Shannon, I'm trying to help set up your argument for you.
You're undoing it.
So let me help me help you. Okay, here. But the idea of I prayed for this, we met each other. Okay. This is going to be risky because I'm not here to talk against God or something, but signs can have a lot of different interpretations as we've seen throughout biblical history. So, if the problem is unhappy in marriage, let me tell you, each other isn't the solution. And I can't make that more clear, because, and I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't be together. I'm just saying you shouldn't be together right now. That's not the solution to the problem. The solution to the problem is taking a step back from your own life, from your own situation. And it's very different. Shannon, your situation is different from Nick's situation. And to then get into some individual therapy, get into some counseling, get into some examination of your own life, where it's at, how you got there, what's yours, what's the other person's, and then what you need to grow and be healthy for the next relationship.
So this sign, okay, you guys prayed and you met each other. I think it still could be for the future once you've done all the in-between work. But to base it solely just on one sign, I think it would be reconfirmed over time as you guys do your own work. I think you run the risk of, in some ways, relying, as I said before, on your feelings almost alone and spiritualizing those feelings. And I'm not saying God doesn't work that way. I do believe in that. But it's like, okay, God, if you've brought us into each other's lives for a reason, now what? How do we do this honorably? Because it's so quick and because of the vulnerability and woundedness you both are in, it just sets you up to, it kind of sets you up for failure.
Well, you said it. What we recreate what is unfinished.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, again, the best chance for Shannon and Nick is for Shannon and Nick to maybe step back, be friends,
and do their own work.
And support each other in doing your own work, but not leaning in.
Not as a couple.
Yeah, not leaning in as a couple.
Something I want to highlight that you said, Jill, is the in-between work that they each need to do.
Yeah.
The in-between work, you're not talking about, just wait till the divorce is finalized. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about deeper than that.
Those things need to happen, but no, we're talking about get into therapy.
Yes.
Right? Grieve the losses. Look at what went wrong in your marriage. Not just, we each were married to bad people.
Yeah.
No, it's not just that it was the wrong people, because things get co-created. What was your part, even if it was only 10% of the demise? What was your part? What can you own? And you can only come to those things once the dust settles.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can back away from the blaming.
Yeah. And I think the resource, How People Grow.
Yeah.
I think there's some developmental things here that are being missed that need to be looked at that could be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
All right, we will send you guys a copy of the book, How People Grow, which is also available at the newlife.com store. Hey, New Life, that's us, champions those on a recovery journey, and we have the tools to support you along the way. You can visit liferecoverygroups.net to find out about connecting to a life recovery group. We also have books there, workbooks, CDs, articles, and for information on connecting to the Life Recovery Today TV show and podcast. Episodes of both were released today, by the way. Go to liferecoverygroups.net. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and here is Bill, who's calling in from Louisville, Kentucky, listening on Sirius XM channel 131, the Family Talk channel. Hi there, Bill.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for calling in today.
Thank you. I'm kind of a situation not as critical, I guess, as some of the others, but I guess it's a question of theology. We had a family member, and for all of my life that I know, this guy was always a servant. This is the servant, and he gave and gave and gave. What happened was, towards the end of his life, he basically, I think, overextended into a family member. They wound up losing his home and things of that sort. And towards the end, almost like a Job-like existence, he lost everything. But then he died. And his wife actually had no other type of income and things of that sort. So a lot of people are coming to me as one of the elder persons and saying, how is this possible? What does, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, receive baked bread. What does giving and trusting and why do this if you can wind up like that? So I try to answer them as far as the providence of God, as far as the sovereignty of God. I don't really have an answer to that. You guys have a broader view. If you would kind of speak to that, if you would.
Well, I've seen this happen before, and it is really sad. And someone who is so giving and loves the Lord and is serving, but we can be spiritually, really tuned in and emotionally checked out. A lot of times when you see overextending and overgiving, this is a person that has a lot of people pleasing. And has a lack of boundaries, inability to say no, or is highly empathic, but then is unwise with taking care of oneself and almost has guilt. I've known people with childhood trauma that feel guilty about having anything, so they give everything away to the neglect of their own family.
That kind of tracks. He's like was one of the oldest members of a 12-sibling family, and stuff like that. He was always the guy that everybody had to come to.
Had to rely on.
Your words are excellent. Yes.
Well, and his worth was in what he gave, right? So sadly, sometimes having a boundary and saying no, lots of times, is the most loving thing to do. Because you see, in the end, he wasn't very loving to his wife to leave her high and dry. And but she has a part in that too.
Absolutely.
That they didn't get the emotional help they needed, even though they're lovely people with wonderful hearts.
Yeah, and there is these great mysteries of injustice that happen in our lives. But speaking back to what Jill was talking about, is that he had a heart of generosity, but he lacked a mind of wisdom.
Yes.
And that has consequences.
Yeah.
The other thing is that in the midst of the injustice that we're going to experience here on planet Earth is a requirement for faith. And even going back to Job, I said, I asked this kind of a trick question, a leading quick trick question to people, is what did Job get in the end? And we're like, oh, well, he got everything tenfold or 100-fold back. I'm like, no, that's not the point of the story. Job got God. That's what he got. He got God. That was the prize. Bill right now, we can trust, has God.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
That's a great story ending.
Yeah.
In the midst of the tragedy that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. Should we send Bill the Life Recovery Workbook for Grief?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we'll do that, Bill. And also, there's a grief recovery course coming up that New Life is putting together. It begins in April. It's a 12-week course. You do it online on Zoom once a week. You're in a group of less than 10 people. You can find out all about it at newlife.com. You can register for it at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and that's open to anybody who's experiencing grief. We're here for another hour today. If you're on hold right now, stand by. We'll get to you.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hi, it's Brian Perez, purveyor of fake news. No, not really. I just give wrong website addresses. I told you to go to, well, I'm not going to tell you what I told you to go to, but I'm going to give you the correct address to find more information about Life Recovery Today and all the resources that we have there. It's liferecoverygroups.com. Okay, so check that out, liferecoverygroups.com. You don't have to do that when you're typing it in, but check that out. So let's go back to the phones really quick. Here is Linda in Sacramento, also listening to us on Sirius XM. We're getting lots of calls from Channel 131 today. We're so grateful. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And here is Linda. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hello.
Hi, how can we help you today?
Okay. I'm going to try not.
Are you on a speakerphone or something? Because you sound kind of far away.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. My adult son has estranged me for the second time. We just it was like for 4 years, and he resumed communication with me back like in September, and then we met for my birthday. And then we were supposed to get together again. And I was going to come to his area a couple weeks ago, but then through some health of my health, I decided that wouldn't be so easy for me. So he said that he would come here a couple weeks ago. And I followed up a few days before that, and he ignored my follow-up, my text, and my phone call.
Okay.
And so this is the second time, and he's blocked me from media, and I don't know what's going on with him or whatever. So I've cried for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do. I know there are things in the past that I've done and hurt him. I'm positive of that, and I've apologized for some of those things. There's other backstories, but I'm not going to go through all of them. There's some ideas that he's probably hurt. I'm sure he believes that I favor his younger son. But I'll just leave it at that and see what you can do to help me resolve this.
His younger son or his
brother?
Oh, yes, brother. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Well, Linda, let me start by saying I am so sorry you're in this situation. It is so difficult. We are, over the last few years, it's just become way too epidemic.
So painful for parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why is that happening?
Well,
I've heard that.
Yeah, I think that here's the general principle. Our unresolved pain is always looking for a scapegoat or an excuse. And parents are an easy target. Because as a parent, we give plenty of evidence, right? We're going to be imperfect. We're going to make mistakes. And there is two things, and this is very generalization. So let me caveat by saying that first. There's two things that I see missing over and over and over and over again. And that is, the first thing is grace. Is that, sometimes the problem is we put parents on a pedestal and then we kick out the legs underneath the pedestal. And then they become the source of all of our pain and anxiety. Now, again, there's a huge spectrum because some parents are so relationally damaging and hurtful and unrepentant and redemptive in their correction, that they may need really, really super strong boundaries, including cutoff. But in your situation, it doesn't sound like that. And so
his dad was abusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, unfortunately, parents become the trigger for the pain. And when we don't confront the pain, we avoid the pain. And it sounds like that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And
I've gone through ACA, and I understand.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Yeah, you do understand
I
that.
understand that, and I recognized at where I got these traits that I do, but I didn't, and I tried to, I tried to share this with my parents, but I didn't ever blame them.
Yeah.
Well,
I just recognized that I'm the product of what happened.
Right. And that's how people used to handle it. And nowadays, so many things, people just, they don't learn conflict resolution, right? And working through issues, they cut out what doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And under the guise of, okay, well, I'm setting a boundary, but a boundary is not a steel door.
Yeah.
Right? Boundaries need to be breathable.
With me too.
Yeah.
Well, and there's so much in the midst of all of this that needs the nuance of wisdom. And the nuance of wisdom is like a boundary could be in a great, great excuse for pure avoidance. But all you're doing is keeping out potentials for healing and growth and connection and life, and keeping in hurt and pain, resentment, and vitriol. Now you're in a situation, Linda, where it's doubly difficult because, as we learn in 12 Steps, you're powerless against your son's process right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
So, Linda, what do you do? I mean, he's blocking you, so he's giving you a message, and I don't know if something has been triggered that, caused him to retreat again. But all you can do is, one, keep praying. I think getting some help for yourself on dealing with estrangement can be helpful. Maybe you write him a letter and just say, I'm finding myself in this spot again, the two of us in this spot, and I'm here, and I want to hear you.
Yeah.
And please let me know when you are ready.
I think that is really good, because writing him a letter, opening the door or keeping open the door of like, hey, if there's any unfinished business between us,
I want to hear it.
I'm open to hearing what you have to say, open to repairing what has been damaged. And also, I just say, going off of what you're saying, Jill, as well, is that, Linda, playing the long game, meaning that you want to be a safe, loving person, because I also know that in each side of us is a comfort magnet. And that magnet is really strong. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, that comfort magnet goes straight to addictions or unhealthy things and behaviors. But in a good way, in a God-redemptive way, that comfort magnet is there and is designed to draw us to that which is healthy, that which is godly, that which is life-giving. And so if we work on ourselves by becoming healthier people, loving people, that people are free to be themselves around us, we have the other side of that magnet.
Right. Well, and if you can also kind of step back and look at your son in the context of the stage of life he's in and what he has gone through, and try not to personalize all of it.
Yeah, that's really important.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think that is so anxiety-producing and damaging for you. But to see, like you said, he's in his growth journey.
And he may be caught up in something that is
and we
producing
don't know.
a lot of shame, and he's going to isolate fast on that process.
Right. And people cut off when a lot of times they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And so that's the degree in which he doesn't know how to handle it, the fact that he had to cut off.
Let's find a resource from the newlife.com store to send to Linda, and we will also send her a copy of a tip sheet called How to Heal from Estrangement, which we've been, like really even good. Linda said, that why is this happening so much lately? And yeah, we've been offering this tip sheet for a while. We'll send one to you, and you can also get one by calling us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Okay, we're going to be here for another hour today. Do not let your problems, your issues, whatever you're going through, carry on into next month. Let's try to solve them today. Give give us a call at 1-800-229-3000, 1-800-229-3000. Sylvia, coming
Thanks
up.
for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.